Hello, this is Dr. Mode, and in this lesson today, it's in Chapter 8, which is Energy Sources, and Section 1, which is Fossil Fuels. In your book, you should read pages 234 to 237. Our scripture from today comes from Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20. Precious treasure and oil are in a wise man's dwelling, but a foolish man devours it. So I chose this one today because it talks about oil, it talks about it being precious, and oil or petroleum is one of our fossil fuels. So this is our plan for Chapter 8. Again, the big idea in Chapter 8 is that energy can be transformed from one form to another for human use. Okay, so we're going to spend today and tomorrow on Section 1, Fossil Fuels, and then next week we're going to finish up Section 2 and Section 3, and then the following week we'll finish Section 4 and have our test. So if you look at this picture, you can see the many uses for energy. You can see the street lights, you can see the building lights, you can see the automobiles, the buses, you can see all these different things where energy is used. Energy is used in thousands of different ways. It's used all over the place. For example, furnaces heat buildings, stoves cook food, air conditioners cool homes, cars transport people, and other vehicles transport materials. So where do fossil fuels come from? How are they formed? Well, secular scientists believe that it took millions of years to make fossil fuels. But the Bible indicates that most formed during the flood. And one example here is in the picture. You can see the black horizontal line going across this rock formation. That's coal. And coal is laid down in very flat layers. And we know that these layers were laid down by floods. And it was laid down by the Great Flood of Noah's time, and these are found all over the earth. So coal, natural gas, and petroleum are fossil fuels because they form from the remains of ancient plants and animals that were buried. The fuel with the greatest chemical potential energy per gram releases the greatest amount of energy. So what we can do is we can look at natural gas, petroleum, coal, and wood in the bar graph here on the side, and we can see that for every 1 gram of each of these fuels, that it releases a different amount of energy. The largest bar is for natural gas, so natural gas releases the most per gram, and the smallest bar is for wood, so you can see that wood releases the least amount of energy per gram. So chemical potential energy is the energy stored in the chemical bonds between the atoms that make up the molecules of the different fossil fuels. Petroleum, or crude oil, is pumped from wells within the Earth's crust every day. Petroleum is a mixture of thousands of different chemical compounds. These compounds are mostly hydrocarbons, meaning that they're made up of mainly hydrogen and carbon. They also have some oxygen in there as well. This picture here on the side is of petroleum jelly. Petroleum jelly is typically blended with maybe some paraffin wax, and it's used in different things that you might find in your bathroom, like different medicines, moisturizers, and other toiletries. So natural gas and petroleum are formed together inside the Earth, but they naturally separate because the natural gas is less dense, so it will rise and stay above the petroleum deposits, but it is still trapped underneath the Earth. It's formed by the same process that the petroleum is formed, and it's composed of mostly methane. The vast majority is methane, which is CH4, but it also contains other small gaseous hydrocarbons such as ethane, propane, and butane.